Hey, fellow Mensches. Okay, so let's continue what we're talking about, which is having the right things in your marketing toolbox. All the considerations that I want you to keep in mind when you're putting together your marketing toolbox. So today I'm going to do a really quick segment on defining and reviewing your target audience. Okay, so let's get started on that. Just a simple checklist. So the considerations that I want when you are defining your target audience, this is what I want you to keep in mind. First of all, the basic profile of your primary and your secondary audience. So remember, we went into that in the segments before this. We were talking pretty much in detail about what a primary and secondary audience is. So we definitely need to know the profile of that audience. The other thing is the consumers' habits, patterns, behaviors, mentalities, all those things. Like I said, from the introduction, I said, you got to delve deeper than just their age and their gender, right? So this is where we can really understand the marketing message that we need to put in front of our primary and secondary markets, because we know their patterns, we know their marketing mentality. And in a moment here, I'm going to also introduce a new one for you. It's called search language. But here, let's keep going. All right, so the other one is you also have to know, this ties in with habits, is you have to know what kind of consumer they are. So are your consumers value-based? Are they compulsive consumers? Are they cautious consumers? So in other words, compulsive consumer would be like, responding well to the act now, limited time offer, special deal. That is kind of like a compulsive consumer. Now there's also a cautious consumer, and that would be one who would be like, well, you know what, I like this product or service, but I still have to learn a little bit more about it. And those people are usually more value-based. Like, what am I getting for my money? Nothing wrong with that, but we just have to know who we're dealing with, so we're putting the right marketing message and doing it with the right style so it resonates with them, so they're able to respond to our call to actions, right? Okay, makes sense to me. I hope it does to you. All right, and then what medias they use and when they use them the most, right? So we know that certain platforms, social media platforms, attract certain age groups, certain mentalities, whatever. So we want to make sure that by knowing our habits, patterns, and behaviors of our consumer, that's going to help us with choosing the right platforms to reach these people. If you're going business to business, it would make sense that you're including LinkedIn into your marketing campaign. But knowing the more you know about your audience, the easier that it gets to matching up the right platforms. Now, what's really cool is that if you were to use, let's say, Google, and you could Google like best platforms to reach business people for 2023, and I say 2023 or whatever year it's going to be, because you're going to get the most up-to-date information about profiles for certain social media platforms. So social media platform for LinkedIn for 2023, for example. And then you'll be able to know who is really checking out LinkedIn and so on. You can also find out things like best time to post if I'm trying to reach stay-at-home moms or something. So you utilize the browsers to find out some of this intel, because it's really going to help you develop the right marketing strategies for yourself. Okay. Also, let's when we're doing this target audience, the consideration is the search language. Remember I said search language? Okay. So like, if let's say you were over at my place. Yeah, come on over. No. Let's say you were over at my place, and you said, you know what, Darren, I want to go get some yogurt. Okay, let's go get some yogurt. What would be my search language? Probably, let's say you needed fat-free yogurt. We would say fat-free yogurt closest to my location, or fat-free yogurt in Sherman Oaks or wherever. So that's a search language, right? So we need to understand the search language. How would they find your product or service? They don't know you. They don't know your wonderful self yet. They don't know your business name. All they know is what they need. They need fat-free yogurt. So how do we know the search language? Wow, how about a sample survey? Remember we talked about that. Okay, so sample survey, doing competitive intel. Now, there are also programs out there, like SEMrush and stuff, that can, Word Tracker, that can also give you a good sense of, phrases that are being used, trends that are popular right now, and you can usually break it down by week, by month, by day, whatever. So there are tools out there to help you with that search language. So this is very important. If you dial into the search language, then you will be drawing the right traffic to your website. Okay, let me give you another example. Let's say I have a plant-based burger stand in Santa Clarita, okay? Now, I'm not gonna say burger stand, I'm not gonna say burger, I'm gonna use a phrase, okay? Now, most of you guys, and we're gonna talk about this later, but most of you guys are gonna be using key phrases. You may know it as a long tail keyword. They're about 3 to 4 words. And that's beautiful because for the people like you and other people who don't really have a footprint on the internet, you can use a phrase to have your audience find you. Now that's great because if I just said hamburgers, I would be swimming in a huge ocean, a global ocean of hamburger stands. I would be snuffed out probably by In-N-Out and Tommy's and blah, 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 okay? So what I would do is I can now use a search phrase, a long-tailed key phrase to draw my audience over. So I would say plant-based burgers in Santa Clarita. Why does that work for me? Because now I'm only drawing people who want plant-based burgers in this area of mine. So my key phrase is the perfect key phrase. So think about the search language and dial in on the search language and you will find that you will be drawing over the right people to your website. But you gotta spend the time to find that search language, okay? And let's see, what else? Last one, I think. Their marketing mentality. Remember I said marketing mentality? You gotta understand the marketing mentality. So I kind of have this thing, no offense to anyone who does Jerry Springer or what have you, but I believe there's 2 sides of the spectrum. There's the Jerry Springer mentality, marketing mentality, which is like act now, limited time offer, or it's just like a high energy kind of marketing messages. And then I like to say that on the other side is the PBS marketing mentality, which is like, hey, give me the information. It's really not that I'm driven by cost. I just want to feel good about the purchase that I'm making, who I'm doing business with, so I want to be informed. So those are really the considerations that you want to have when you're putting together your strategy with better understanding your target audience. So the next time we get together, we're going to be talking about a media kit. Why would you need a media kit? What is a media kit? So if you need to, let's say you want to do presentations, or you want to be a guest on someone's blog or something, you can send out a media kit that's going to have all that information. And it's beautiful because you don't really have to spend the time going through this whole spiel again and again. You just say, hey, okay, let me send you my media kit, and it's going to have everything that you need to let them know what you're about, your field of expertise, all that stuff. And we're going to go into that next time. All right, my Menches, that's it. Enjoy, and let's get to work on really understanding who your target audience is. Take care, everyone.